of my little bed, and still when she woke she would call me her caller. She sucked at her bony, freckled knuckle while she slept. I tried not to wake her when I went to get the envelope under the door, but the floor creaked and she stirred, cursing me sweetly in a language I'd never heard. I cursed her right back and crossed the bare, dust-mortared floorboards to the envelope, which was brown and sealed with black wax. "What is it, hon?" Em called from her pillow, suddenly friendly, probably thinking it was money. She prayed every evening that she would be saved from that fancy house on Royal Street, and so every unexpected thing came to her first as a possible sign of deliverance. Always disappointment, always expectation. I opened the envelope at the wax, using the long middle fingernail I cultivated for desperate fights in saloons. I sharpened it like a knife twice a week. It's a letter. Oh, Christ. What do you care? You can't read. Such a nice boy you are. The girl swoons, boyo. Not in the bed. There's a bucket in the corner. She swung to her feet to the floor. Her feet were tiny, perfect, and her ankles had freckles. Everything had freckles. I'm leaving. Kiss me for luck. You don't got no more coin for that. Don't ever work anyway. A striking, pretty, bony little thing was my Em. She stood up to my chin and could look at me so that I would be afraid. She was delicate. Nearly no flesh on her except for the sweet turn of her bare ass and the muscles in her shoulders. I looked on her, naked and smirking, and I felt real fondness. Love? Heavens. Great fondness, sure. She covered up quick, stomped around picking up pieces of her ensemble here and there until she was dressed and ready to march on. She could dress instantly when it suited her. I assumed this was a professional, cultivated skill. She stopped beside me before walking through the door. Her eyes, flecked and hazel, turned down sadly, either from the paint or the wear or both. She carried a small black purse in her hand, which she pointed at me like a pistol. "What do I care?" she said quietly. "I care for lots of things. Things I ain't ever told you these months I've been to your bed. But someday, if you're very good and God sees fit to save me, I would tell you. We'll talk a long time. You'll be sick of my talk. Now I'll only say this." She reached up and stroked my jaw, rubbing at the stubble before pinching my ear. "I'll say this. What do you care about, boyo?" I didn't answer quick enough, and she gave a little whoop. "Nothing. That's it? You care for nothing? Ah, the world is so black, how do you ever stand it?" She laughed and tippy-toed down the back stairway, chuckling to the ground. I walked back to the table to consider the thing that was not money but had been slipped under my door. I also, and will admit this here now that I know how things turn out, I also prayed real quick that she would get back to her fancy house safely and that she would be protected. See, there were things I weren't going to tell her either. Ha! As if I didn't care for nothing. I recognized the letter immediately. In the cold wax lay the seal of General John Bell Hood, formerly U.S. Army and Confederate Army, currently a ghost haunting the uptown provinces, New Orleans. Not truly a ghost. I don't believe in that mess, don't believe in the spirits and goblins that I'm told parade through this city in their nightclothes and masks and all manner of costume. What I mean is, the man now lived at the edge of everything, cast out from his old habitats, which included the ice factory where he had once liked to nap and harass me in the cold dark. Before his wife's funeral the month before, when I had seen Anna Marie laid in the ground at Lafayette Cemetery, I hadn't seen Hood in almost a year, since the epidemic.